Thank you, everybody, for joining us today. I'm Stacy Seltzer, the founder of Hudson Lab School, of co-created, co-founder of the school and Hudson Lab Ventures with Kate Hahn. We also have Brian McDonald, who is the head of the Scarsdale High School Design Lab, who's been teaching with us. We're so happy to have you today, and we are so appreciative of Brightline and Making Caring Commons participation in our couple-week entrepreneurship and innovation sprint. All the effort that you've put in to supporting the students of the program in terms of providing materials and being available and everything. We have had an incredible 2 weeks. And throughout the couple weeks, we have had incredible innovators from big companies. And so we've had an incredible kind of experience for the students here. A great group of kids who have done this. I've been super, super impressed by the energy and the intensity and the ideas and the tenacity that they've had. An incredible group of designers as well, Amanda, Cameron, and Lana, who have helped support the students throughout the process and with these presentations. We have had a jam-packed week going through all sorts of things that we do in terms of product development and creating new innovative products and services. We got briefs from each of our challenge sponsors, Brightline and Making Caring Common, about specific challenges that we wanted the students to take a look at and work on designing new products and services for. And here are just a couple of pictures of everybody going through the process. They did a lot of stakeholder mapping and journey and understanding users and all sorts of different things. We used lots of Post-its because everyone knows innovation is about Post-its. And everybody presented and pitched a specific idea that they were excited about. And then we narrowed those down to the specific ones that you're going to see today. You're actually going to see 6 presentations of new potential products and services designed over the last week by the students of Hudson Lab Ventures. Mostly we're looking at quick feedback about and points of view, builds on the proposition, questions you would want to see answered if we were going to go forward and create these products or services, and any feedback that you want to give the students. And with that, without further ado, I will hand it over to Isha and
Okay. Hello, from Hudson Lab Ventures. Good afternoon to everyone joining us in the auditorium, and good morning to those joining us from the West Coast. My name is Isha Bhatia, as Stacy mentioned. These are my my business partners.
Well, I'm Zach. Hi. I'm Akshat.
And today we're going to be talking to you about a pitch that we have for Brightline. So instead of diving into the problem that we're trying to solve first, we really want to start at what Brightline values the most, the client. So here we are introducing Jimmy.
A lively 10-year-old boy with ADHD and learning difficulties. Despite his coach's best efforts, Jimmy struggled with maintaining consistent awareness of his emotions throughout the week. Meet Barbara, Jimmy's dedicated coach. Despite her efforts over 2 months, Barbara has been facing challenges in achieving her therapeutic goals with Jimmy. She believes there's potential for a better and more effective sessions.
So the overall problem that we're seeing here today is that there is an inability to effectively track a child's progress and also maintain engagement between these Brightline sessions. This results in longer time for children to achieve their goals, minimal engagement between sessions from children, and lastly, the fact that coaches and parents have a difficult time gauging any sort of progress over extended periods of time. There must be a better way. Introducing BrightTrack, an app to promote self-reflection and obtain daily progress reports, a Brightline add-on app. So what exactly is BrightTrack? BrightTrack is a free app that allows children, ideally ones 12 and under, to record and document their feelings in the time between coaching sessions. So let's see this in action with our beloved client, Jimmy. So Barbara, Jimmy's coach, advises Jimmy to download the BrightTrack app to supplement their sessions, as you can see on the right side there. After another stressful day at school, Jimmy receives a notification to fill out his BrightTrack right at 4 o'clock on the dot. When he is free, he opens up the app. He logs in with his parents and chooses a theme. His choice, dogs. I mean, can you blame him? I'm over a decade older than Jimmy, and yet I still think dogs are possum. He reflects on his day by using the scale to show how he feels. He has the ability to click as many emojis as he feels applies. As you can see on the left, you can click any of those: mad, sad, angry, happy, whatever it may be. And then after that, we have a key feature of the BrightTrack app, which is the mighty ABCs. Jimmy can go through the ABCs with, for example, first A, at first I felt, and in this case, he'd say, at first I felt sad because my best friend took my pencil case. Because of that, I lashed out at him and got super mad. And then C, could I have controlled my emotions better and not lost such a great friend? And then we also have an additional D, which is, did any techniques help you that the coach or therapist had been working with Jimmy on? In this case, he may say no, since he wasn't really able to contain and manage his emotions properly. After that, he's going to see this thank you page that just thanks him for completing the Bright Tracker, and also it'll tell him how long he's been doing it for, aka the streak. So an additional feature to the Bright Tracker is the fact that Barbara, his coach, is able to send him personalized notes. For example, in this case, she sent the note to Jimmy that, oh, you're doing a great job, remember to do your breathing exercises, and just reminding him that they have a session on Saturday. But the note could be anything, whether it's a question or anything else like that. Now, from Barbara's end, she receives two different reports, a daily report and a weekly report. So the daily report, as seen on the left side, shows Jimmy's information as well as just a pie chart with all of the answers or emojis that Jimmy clicked off. It also has a summary of the answers that he gave. In the weekly report, we see more metric and statistics and graphs because, again, it's really showing that progress and helping Barbara gauge progress over an extended period of time. So you see more graphs. You also see a copy of all of his responses throughout the week, so she can always check back. And what else is important for us to know is that we do want an AI feature in this app so that if a child does input something that is a trigger word, then the coach or therapist will be notified right away. In terms of rewards, as Jimmy continues, after a week straight of self-reflection, he can unlock more themes and avatars. Though whoever gets over the dog theme, I don't know, but there's always there for him. Some other rewards include that after a month of constantly using BrightTrack, he can get dog stickers in the mail, which he's super excited about.
Our primary market plan includes reaching out to current Brightline families who are already engaged in the services. Additionally, we would be reaching out to families seeking support for their children aged 12 and under, like Jimmy, who strive to transform their therapy journeys. Our total addressable market provides a substantial opportunity encompassing 50 million children aged 12 and under in the US. We aim to leverage this potential to provide a BrightTrack to as many of these children as possible to transform their therapeutic experiences.
So besides the catchy names we just threw at you, like BrightTrack and ABC, what really is the benefit to Brightline? Well, starting off, BrightTrack will make coaching sessions more productive because now coaches have an idea of what their child or client was feeling like before they even enter foot into the Zoom session. They can also help children reach their goals sooner, as every single day the child is reflecting on how their day went. This also increases customer retention because as parents see that children are progressing faster and are reaching their goals, they will want to enroll their child in more Brightline sessions. And this goes hand in hand with the fact that it'll also have greater satisfaction from the customers as they're really able to achieve their goals. And one of the best things about BrightTrack is that its beauty lies in its simplicity. And because of its simplicity, its execution is just as simple, and it doesn't require a huge burden on Brightline's resources while being hugely beneficial not only to the child, but also to the coaches. And lastly, BrightTrack doesn't have to be an app just for Brightline users. It can also be for those 50 million people that Akshat was talking about before. Now, the advantage to Brightline is that Brightline users can use BrightTrack for free. So what that does is incentivizes customers who are using the BrightTrack app to come join Brightline so they can get the app for free, and they can get their coaches to interpret their results and all of that great stuff.
Now, with any app, there is a downside. You have to code the app, you have to make the app, and that costs money. The good news is that it's not that expensive to make BrightTrack. Programming and design, due to the nature of BrightTrack, shouldn't be too expensive. You will have to compensate for the coach's extra time to review BrightTrack, but this shouldn't be too bad either. And you will have to buy rewards and ship those rewards as well. But due to what those rewards will be, that shouldn't be as bad either. There are also going to be some hurdles in the way, of course. First of all, will all these kids, especially those 12 and under, have mobile devices? Chances are probably not, which may pose an accessibility issue. Also, will coaches accept the additional workload of reviewing BrightTrack? Though with additional compensation, this shouldn't be too big of an issue either. And will all kids reliably use BrightTrack? That's a big problem, but we hope with the rewards and the incentives that we have implemented, this shouldn't be too big of a problem either. Now, to validate it's worth launching before we even launch it, we have some things we can do. For example, we can ask coaches and therapists to see if they've ever faced challenges in understanding their children's emotions or actions throughout the week. If the answer is yes, which there's probably going to be a lot of, BrightTrack will be extremely helpful with that. Brightline can also send emails containing surveys to a handful of randomly selected parents to see if their child would use it. Now, our timeline will be first to create an online survey, then send that survey to Brightline users, probably the parents or the guardians who will send that to their kids to fill out. The kids' results will be then sent to the coaches to review, and rewards will be given to the users, probably the kids, based on the consistency of those surveys. Our rollout plan will probably start with signal mining, then building the MVP and launching our MVP. But then after that, we'll probably be able to program BrightTrack and advertise BrightTrack to coaches and therapists at Brightline. And after that, we can expand current features and adding new features and possibly broadening the app nationwide.
At the heart of our vision is to transform child therapy through the power of data. By encouraging children's self-expression and integrating parental insights, our goal is to provide a deeply personalized experience. We believe in catering to each child's unique needs to provide truly comprehensive care.
Thank you. We are BrightTrack. Keep you on the right track.
I think this is fantastic. We're just starting on how to do progress tracking. So the experience you created here was really delightful.
Hi, so I'm Zoe.
I'm Ella.
Welcome to our presentation.
Mental health exercises sometimes seem boring and like a chore to children. Without putting in the work outside of sessions, progress can become stagnant. But improving doesn't have to feel like hard work. Introducing Starline.
Starline is an interactive mobile game where kids can have fun while doing their exercises. Here's an example. Charlie is a 7-year-old boy who's having trouble focusing in school and wants to spend more time with his mom. Shannon's a single mom to Charlie who works 5 days a week from 9 to 7. She wants her kid to be able to learn in school the way he can learn. They heard about Starline through an email from their coach a day before their first Brightline session and decided to check it out.
Charlie opens up the app and the first thing he sees is the mood meter. This is where he can log how he's feeling that day and it'll save it and send it to his coach or therapist.
After this, Charlie would go to a streak, which would keep track of how many days in a row he logs into the app, and with the streak he gets a magic potion.
After completing the mood meter, he is brought to a home screen where he has the option to go to different planets.
Exploring the app, Charlie finds a checklist with quests he has to complete. For the quest, Charlie has to complete a mission on every planet. A mission is each individual exercise, where a quest is a collection of missions. Charlie goes to a planet and there he meets Frog, which is this character here. Frog guides Charlie through his first exercise, which is a breathing exercise. After completing this mission, Charlie is given a plant as a reward. He's then able to plant this in his greenhouse. For every new mission Charlie completes, he gets a new plant. The plants are powered by keeping your streak alive.
Once Charlie finishes all of the missions, he then goes back to the checklist. He sees the quest has been completed and there's a little present instead. The present gives him a new pair of sunglasses to customize his character. After Charlie's first Brightline session, he looks back at Starline. He sees that he was assigned 3 new quests by his coach. Throughout his Brightline experience, Charlie's coach sends him new quests after every Brightline session. During his Brightline sessions, they ask him about what he has been doing and observes his mood chart.
Charlie can actually send notifications to his mom about things he's proud of in the app, such as completing weekly quests or getting new prizes from doing well in the game. After a month of using Starline, Charlie has achieved two of his goals. First, Charlie has had more time to bond with his mom while doing the exercises, and he's also gotten better at focusing in school. In addition to this, Charlie's mom and coach have also noticed that the more he uses the app, the better he's been doing in his sessions. But Charlie's not alone in this. In 2019, there was a study done that said about 7.5 million kids from ages 5 to 17 throughout the US were said to take therapy, and that was even before COVID. In addition to this, in 2018, Healthline learned that around 90% of kids in the US play video games. This leaves a huge market for Starline.
There are a lot of other apps regarding mental health, but we couldn't find one that had a whole group of exercises instead of focusing on one. But of course, there are certain challenges to launching this app. First, would the application generate enough customers to account for its cost? Second, is the app actually helping kids get better? And third, would kids actually like using the app? For the money issue, people who are not part of Brightline would have to pay in order to use Starline. In addition to this, in the future, we would like to have the option of being able to actually purchase a frog plush. For adjusting this, during the entire beta phase, adjustments to all aspects can and most likely will be made. This could tailor the app to the kids' needs. By talking to the coaches and therapists of Brightline, we can gauge if kids are improving their mental health and if Starline is making a difference. Signal mining. First, in order to find signals, we would ask current clients whether they would use the app. Second, we could advertise the app before it's fully developed to see if people are interested. And third, we could physically run around and ask people in person on their interest. What our MVP would look like. There are three core aspects of our MVP. First, the missions, the actual exercises to help kids improve. Second, the greenhouse, an incentive that would keep the kids coming back. And third, quests, a way therapists and coaches could assign tasks that relate to the sessions. How would we test the MVP? First, we could use statistics, data collected about the use time and download numbers. We could send surveys to the kids and adults on their enjoyment, and input from the therapists and coaches on their opinion on whether they believe the app is serving its purpose.
So what's the plan? First, for getting out Starline, we'd start with the current clients of Brightline, and they'd be offered services for free. We'd also be offering it to incoming clients who would be alerted of Starline before they start their first session. Another way to, as we continue along the journey, is advertising Starline on the website for considering clients to see, and putting it on the App Store for people not using Brightline but would still like to use Starline, and they would have to pay a bit extra. Our vision is to find ways for kids to engage and enjoy improving their own mental health. Thank you.
Thank you. It was awesome. It is a challenge for us trying to get the kids to sometimes either do their exercises or fill out assessments. So love the idea of gamification and a way to motivate them, and would love to make our experience more fun.
We also have a live Figma demo created by our amazing designer, Amanda, up there.
All right, we're going to keep rolling. Next up, we have Brightline Bonds.
My name is Gabriel. This is Sydney and Alicia. Many children feel distressed and confused when starting therapy. And these quotes on the bottom of these slides are from existing Brightline users that were interviewed. Caregivers want to connect with other caregivers, but lack a mean to do so. And users are feeling isolated during tough times, yet they're all going through the same thing. We give you Brightline Bonds, a customer matching program that helps new and old customers by answering questions new customers may have about Brightline, acclimating new users to the Brightline experience, offering a different type of support for Brightline customers, and cultivating a community with Brightline.
Meet Jim and his son, Max. Jim, a 45-year-old father that's coming into Brightline for his son with anxiety. He's a little skeptical about therapy, but he's open to it. And he wants his questions answered to see if this will really help his son or not. Max, his 13-year-old son, has been signed up by his mom into Brightline for anxiety concerns. And he's never done it before, so he also wants his questions answered about that. So here you would have to fill out a quick survey, and really quick, I'm going to do the caregiver. And for the caregiver, it would ask you more specific questions about what's your situation, and ask if you would like to be matched with another caregiver with the same situation as you. And in this case, we're playing as Jim, and he meets a guy, 42-year-old named Larry, who has also joined Brightline for the same thing, also having a son that is struggling with anxiety issues. And he also see that he likes to go fishing, and Jim likes to go fishing as well. So he matches with him. And they start chatting. Larry has an option to reach out to him first, or Jim reaches out to him, and there's also a video chat for the adults. And here Jim is explaining his situation, how his wife signed him up for anxiety concerns, and see that his son is also going through the same thing. So they start to connect on that type of level. And going back to the child part, these questions are way more child-based. They'll ask you your hobbies or interests to also match you with a child that's around the same age as you and also share the same hobbies and interests as well. And in this case, we are playing as Max, and Max matches up with a girl named Lily. The difference between the child and the caregiver is that with the child one, they have avatars instead of faces, their actual faces, just for restrictions and just to make sure there's safety being on the app. And he's also saying that she likes to play video games, so he matches with her for that as well. And here Lily reaches out first just to reduce the worry Max might be having in reaching out to her first, and to overall give him a great experience at Brightline Bonds. Okay, weeks later, Jim has become way more comfortable with Brightline, and he notices the improvement in son's behavior. And sometimes he talks to Larry from time to time about their sons and about teenage boys in general and their interests, talking about their interests and their own hobbies. Max going to his first therapy session more comfortable, and he feels way better after chatting with Lily. And some other times when they're doing the Brightline homework, they support each other through what they're assigned, as well as become friends later on in the process. 4 things we do to help the user: make the children way more comfortable, ease the concerns they may be having, as well as creating a community in Brightline. Since with Brightline Bonds, it would help them all talk about what they're going through, make them feel less alone, and as well as get everyone along.
All right, so what's the opportunity for Brightline Bonds? So we estimated the total addressable market as just US households that have children that are from 12 to 17, so teenagers, and that comes to about 16.25 million families. Then we cut it down to the serviceable market, so that's the households with teenage children that are suffering mental illnesses, and that's still a whopping 8 million families. Then we estimated which part of this market is obtainable, and through just looking at who has Brightline available in their employer benefits and just estimating what families would pick telehealth as their main support for mental health, we estimate that about 15% of these families would go to Brightline. And that's still 1.2 million families. Compared to the current number of families at Brightline, this is huge, and it offers expansive opportunities for Brightline with Brightline Bonds. So, how does Brightline Bonds really benefit the business itself? So first of all, it would reduce the reluctance for all the nervous customers when they're beginning therapy and trying something new. So it helps customers commit to Brightline. It also just reduces the churn of the customers by making the process of therapy and coaching just more streamlined and overall really efficient. And this in all really increases user numbers and the number of memberships in Brightline. So we also looked at the costs. So of course, there's going to be some costs to really develop the questionnaire and implement the Brightline Bonds onto the website and the app. There's also always going to be some costs for technological support and IT if any issues ever come about. And we thought that approximately half of a full-time employee would be needed just to manage and moderate the entire program. But for costs for output, so gains for Brightline, we thought that customers are going to spend a longer time at Brightline when they have friendship and support outside of their sessions. This also will definitely increase member love and the customer satisfaction, because now there's a community that all the customers wanted. And again, this will increase the number of memberships. Why do we have to implement Brightline Bonds now? Brightline customers are in need, and they want connections with other customers to improve the experience in therapy. And using technology, we can transform what the normal mental health journey is into something new by cultivating a community. And Brightline can also create a very unique presence in the telehealth world with this never before seen service. Of course, there's always going to be some hurdles to make this the best it can be. So first of all, value, especially with the existing parents and caregivers. Will they actually find value in helping someone out and finding support for themselves? And of course, there can definitely be bad bonds. People may just not get along. And how are we going to handle any conflicts and agreements that come about within the bonds? And then there's qualification. How can we make sure that the bond ambassadors, so the existing members, are going to be qualified and can really help people with mental health issues that are coming to Brightline? And again, moderation. This is especially important when it comes to the teenagers. We need to make sure all the communication in Brightline Bonds is going to be safe, respectful, and appropriate. I'm going to hand it off to Gabriel.
So how will we know that users of Brightline feel that there's a value for Brightline Bonds? So there's a couple things. The overall points are feedback from the parents and coaches on how well or how much that Brightline Bonds has helped the kids, how has it helped kids their transition to therapy? How has Brightline Bonds helped kids transition into therapy? And we would also interview coaches to see if communication with their kids has been more easily streamlined, and asking existing customers if their experience at Brightline has been enriched by Brightline Bonds, and measuring how the signals of how many bonds form and how long they stay together. So to get signals immediately, we can ask caregivers and teenagers what if they would participate in Brightline Bonds, and if both parties give positive signals of about 60% or more, we believe that this product will be viable. So our MVP is simple and easy to make, using members that have been at Brightline for more than 3 months as the existing users and newer members as less than 2 months. We can, over the course of 6 months, gauge whether this would be successful after a full implementation. For rollouts, we would do signal mining for about 1 month. We would spend 2 months creating the MVP. We would then use that MVP for 6 months. And then, assuming that we get those good signals, we'd do a full integration of Brightline Bonds. And if we get even better signals, such as 80% or even 90%, we could expand to broader support groups and even in-person meetups and events, if that is what we believe would work better. So for competition, as you can see, we are really the only ones doing this. Facebook, Reddit, and other telehealth companies, they either are not catered to mental health, such as Facebook and Reddit, or the telehealth companies that just don't have something like this, where users can match with other users to help each other through their challenge.
Our vision: foster a welcoming community for Brightline families, easing the onboard process for newcomers.
Brightline Bonds. Thank you for listening.
I just think it's a really interesting idea, because we definitely have that challenge of both, kids and parents and caregivers being uncomfortable, maybe starting in the mental health space, especially if it's new to them. So the idea of using kind of that peer-to-peer support for making them feel comfortable, I think is really innovative. And yeah, great work.
Thank you very much, team. All right, we're going to keep rolling. But wait, there's more. Brighter Choice, take it away.
Schools need more support, as students do not feel mentally supported, nor are they educated on mental health issues. According to the National Center for Education Statistics, 80% of students feel overwhelmed from school-related responsibilities, while 50% of students rated their mental health to be below average or poor, while only 40% of students are seeking help. This issue is more prevalent in low-income communities, as school budgets are indicators of students' access to in-school mental health resources. And to tackle this problem, we're introducing Brighter Choice. Brighter Choice is the leading community initiative to provide mental health support and education within schools. It is comprised of an after-school program which builds a support system for kids to rely on through a relatable mentor who they engage in shared interests with, in addition to attending mental health workshops. Brighter Choice also has an in-school mental health education program that educates students on mental health and how they can support themselves and others, and most importantly, provides an opportunity for schools to build a stronger, further informed community through stronger mental health initiatives.
Meet Caitlin. Caitlin is an 11th grader who is the captain of her school's volleyball team. She is an outgoing and dedicated student, and Caitlin went to therapy in middle school to cope with the death of her mother. Her interests are volleyball, cooking, cartoons, and bird watching. Caitlin accesses her application through the Brightline website and fills it out. Her guidance counselor chose her for her mentorship because of her experience with working with kids and past firsthand experiences in therapy. Caitlin completes her training through a partnership with the middle school. Her guidance counselors recommend that she gets paired with Rebecca. Rebecca is a shy 7th grader who has been getting bullied by the girls in her grade. She's struggling to cope with the death of her dad while adjusting to her mom's new boyfriend. Within the past year, she went from being a straight-A student to failing several classes. Her guidance counselor worries that she is depressed. Caitlin and Rebecca were paired together because they both have similar interests, and they have both unfortunately lost a parent. Rebecca and Caitlin meet up. After school, once a week, they meet at the middle school gym and play volleyball together. They talk about their highs and lows of the week while playing. And after a few weeks, they build enough trust to start talking about the things that are bothering Rebecca, like her father's passing and her mom's new relationship. This is Jacob, and Jacob is Rebecca's younger brother. And through Brighter Choices in-school program, he can benefit by learning mental health things from school assemblies, mental health resources such as Brightline information and mental health stats around the school building, class time focused on mental health education sessions, and teachers using Brightline mental health strategies to help students like Jacob. After a few months, Rebecca now looks up to Caitlin and goes to her for advice and treats her like a role model in her life. This has helped Rebecca cope with her grief. Meanwhile, Jacob has also benefited from the school program through learning more about what mental health issues are and how the people around him are affected by them. He's now more cognizant of how he treats people and makes them feel. Oh my goodness. Caitlin earned her service credits, but more importantly, has built her own mental health toolkit from the Brightline workshops and experiences.
So how is our program going to have a benefit and impact on school communities? So our program will help bring awareness and education to students at school, while also providing a trusted and relatable support system for students who may need one. Our program will additionally make students become better supported and informed on the entire mental health state and how students around them are being affected by it. Additionally, Brightline will be able to make an impact using school time to strengthen and support students around mental health. So we will be marketing towards schools and their students, especially those schools in California, given that their regulations are specifically towards implementing mental health programs in schools across the state. In California alone, there are over 9,000 K-12 schools and around 5.9 million K-12 students. Across the US, there are around 130,930 K-12 schools. We will have a very large market to make an impact on. How will we make money? We will charge schools an annual implementation fee for our program. But while doing this, we will also make sure that our program will be able to align and benefit with schools around the country that are of all socioeconomic statuses. We will do this by changing our budget to fit schools of different budgets and by finding funding reliance from government and other external sources. We will additionally be able to apply for grants or partnerships with local and national businesses who sponsor. Plus, mentees' parents will be able to pay for the after-school services. Even though our program will make a very large impact and will have large benefits, it actually won't cost a lot of money, time, or effort to Brightline. Things that Brightline will need to do in order to make our program function are record content for virtual orientation and training to mentors, and develop content such as handouts, virtual content, and other videos for in-school education. We will need teacher development workshop materials and training, and curriculum for what will be taught in the in-school education program. We must take action now in order to make a difference in the lives of students who are mentally unsupported in their school environment. We will be able to educate students on the importance of mental health and how they can support others. Although it's been a very short amount of time, we've already been able to measure that many students would benefit from our program in their own school environments. We have surveyed over 40 kids, and 83.3% of these kids interviewed expressed that they need stronger mental health support in their schools. 77.8% of these kids replied that they were interested in having school mental health periods. 100% of middle schoolers are interested in becoming mentees, and 73% of high schoolers are interested in becoming mentors. 94.6% of all students considered engaging in interests or hobbies as a form of self-care.
Specifically focusing on the after-school program, we may struggle to pair high schools with elementary and middle schools. We may also find that mentees may be in further need of mental health attention. For the in-school program, students may not be receptive of the lessons taught, struggle with retaining given information, or struggle to take the program seriously. We may also worry that principals and school administrators will not be open to the program. To prevent struggles with pairing high schools and elementary or middle schools, we can target schools that are already connected and introduce elementary or middle schools with high schools upon acceptance into the program. If mentees are in need of further mental health attention, we can introduce Brightline services to the child's family, and unfortunately discontinue the mentee's participation in the program, as teen mentors are not qualified to deal with the same issues as a licensed individual may. To work around principals and school administrators not being open to the program, we can target schools that are already implementing and promoting mental health initiatives within their school communities. To ensure students are being receptive of the lessons being taught, lessons and resources can be taught and presented in an age-appropriate manner with strategies that engage students while illustrating the importance of the subject. To get students to take the program seriously, we can emphasize how mental health is related to everything in your life and equally important to physical health, and how it impacts everybody on a day-to-day basis. To measure user value, we can send surveys to students and parents at the beginning and end of every school year. We can also have recurring check-ins and feedback sessions with school faculty, and pay attention to student engagement during programming while keeping track of the number of schools and students within the in-school and after-school program. To immediately receive signals regarding interest in the program, we can send out surveys via parent blogs, the Brightline website where you can get advice from families, and also social media. We can also promote our program through social media to directly reach out to teens, middle and elementary aged youth, and we can also contact schools. We can start brighter choice within child care programs that have access to elementary or middle school age children and teenagers. In this case, we chose a summer camp as an example. Brightline would contact the appropriate camp administration and have CITs or teen counselors serve as mentors and the camp's kids as mentees. We would then test the orientation and training process and have mentorship pairs go through mental health workshops and provide feedback. We can market towards teens, principals, guidance counselors, and teachers. We can target schools that are already connected and target schools with greater Brightline. We can target schools and locations that have greater Brightline clientele and locations and with policies in favor of Brightline services. And lastly, our pilot program would ideally consist of a diverse socioeconomic school range. Would consist of diverse socioeconomic school ranges to promote company sustainability, which would initially start in September, since that's when most schools start their programming, with 3 K-12 schools. January of the following year, we would introduce 5 to 10 new schools. In September, marking our second year of our pilot program, we would introduce 40 to 50 new schools after adapting over the summer.
Our vision is to create the nation's leading peer-to-peer support group for mental health. We want to destigmatize ideas surrounding youth mental health, promote social emotional learning-based school environments, and further connect school communities. Brighter choice, investing in youth to shape ideas and provide support surrounding mental health. Thank you.
Great job, so thoughtful, and like this is such a big challenge getting mental health incorporated into schools, and you survey everything. I feel like you were really thorough and thought of everything. So great job.
Good job, team. All right, take it away.
All right. Good afternoon or good morning for some. My name is Liam, and here is
My name is Sinai.
I'm Peter. All right, so let's get started. Can everyone see and hear me?
Yes.
Okay, all right. So I want you to imagine that you're a kid and you're in school and you walk into the lunchroom and you see everybody in the lunchroom laughing and playing and talking with each other, but no one's talking to you. And you want to have interaction with somebody, but you're too nervous and anxious to actually go up and talk to anyone. So you just walk out and you leave and you eat lunch in the hallway by yourself. One thing the pandemic taught us all is that we don't want to be by ourselves and that we all strive for connectedness. But many kids feel disconnected from their school community. Why is that? Why? Sometimes because they're shy or because they get anxious and they're socially anxious to talk to people and nervous. Sometimes because they're afraid of being bullied or fear rejection. And sometimes because they don't feel that they fit or belong in their school community. In our current age of technology, many kids feel more comfortable with or would rather interact with their phone than with people, which in turn disconnects them from the community. So to help reconnect the disconnected, we came up with Wango. Wango is an app built for building and strengthening community and helping all kids within a school form meaningful and genuine connections with each other. Now, me personally, I don't like it when an adult or a teacher says, hey, go be friends with this person, go connect with this person. I don't like that. So with Wango, we connect people by providing them with an open and welcoming space where they can connect with each other through events and chats and whatnot. With Wango, you can find new friends, you can discover activities and events that interest you, and you can easily access your school's announcements and updates. So now I'm going to hand it off to Sinai, who's going to tell you a story of 2 people and their involvement with Wango.
All right, meet Luke and Anna. Luke is a high school freshman. He's kind of shy, new to the school, enjoys video games. He doesn't have very many friends. And Anna, she's a high school senior, very outgoing. She's the leader of the community service club. She's very well known around school, and she's always super, super involved. Luke downloads Wango because he wants to see if he can find people that share his interests and make friends, but without having to be in those socially awkward situations of walking into a club or walking into a big room, like Liam said, like a cafeteria, and having to make those awkward interactions. He's not interested in doing that. So he goes on Wango and he finds And he can put in his interests. He likes video games, art, music, and based on those interests that he clicked in, it then suggests other things for him to do, like community service, dance, cooking, and things of that nature. So once Liam logs into the app, he decides that he's gonna sign up for a virtual online gaming hangout, just so that he can get comfortable and acclimated to being around new people, and so that his social anxiety isn't too overwhelmed. This is Anna's screen. Anna is a part of the community service club. She's the leader. And what she uses Wango for is that she wants to try to get her club out to more people so that they're more aware and they want to come to her club and they want to participate in community service. She can also send out notifications to people who say community service is their interest and invite them to the club and welcome them, send them a little bit of an encouraging message. So here on Luke's screen, we have a page for an RSVP to Anna's Community Service Club. Now he goes to the virtual video game hangout and he realizes like, wow, I really enjoy this. I like using this app and I like having friends and connecting with people. So he decides that he wants to try out Anna's Community Service Club. And when he does, he goes, he has a great time and he makes friends. This app is created to help kids like Luke so that they can make connections and have friendships just like that. Like it's very simple, very quick, very easy. And it's so that kids like Luke aren't feeling alone and aren't feeling by themselves. Statistically, when we see kids with friends, even if it's just one friend, it can change their life for the better. And this is what we're trying to do with Wango. But with every good side of an app, there's also some hurdles. And Peter's going to talk to you about that.
All right, so our biggest and most pressing problem is, of course, those disconnected students like Luke. But while addressing the problem, we've also identified other pain points that other students have. Right, so schools use a wide variety of tools to communicate events or announcements to their students, but like emails or announcements through the speakers. But these channels are flawed. Emails are tedious to read and announcements are easy to miss. Perhaps as a result, attendance for school events are low and students are missing a great opportunity to build those connections. In a Wango community, all students can connect with others that share their interests. School administrators are able to efficiently organize and host events, while students can also create their own hangouts or meetups. Student leaders like Anna can reach more students for their meetings and events using the in-app messaging system, in-app communication system. Overall, we promote a more cohesive school community. Wango will be sold to the schools for $50 a month or $500 a year, and it would be free for the students to use and download. So here we've identified some of the important challenges that we need to address in order to make this work. So that includes things like onboarding the schools, moderation of content, but most importantly, getting full school participation. We want everyone in this app. So how do we get that? So recommended, right? Students with similar interests are identified by the app and given personalized recommendations for events around those interests. Not only are they getting recommendations through the app, but the club leaders or the student leaders of those events are able to communicate with them using Wango. Also, student interaction, student participation in events can be mapped out, and those who don't go to any events can be identified. And when you create that student interaction map, the more dense the map, the more student to student interactions, the more participation is going on within the school. And we were thinking that that there could be some sort of competition between schools where the densest map could win a prize. So Wango is built specifically for cultivating those tight-knit school communities through event management and communication tools.
Together with Wango, let's build bridges and form connections. Thank you. Also, quick shout out to Lana, our amazing designer. Good afternoon to everyone. My name is Crit, and this is my partners, Kate and Rohan. Going to therapy as a child can be extremely beneficial, but once that session is over, the child is unsure what to do. They lack the resources to practice their therapy tools outside of sessions, and when they can't practice, confidence fades. Introducing Brightbees. Brightbees is an app that provides resources to Brightline clients under 12 to get the most out of the therapy experience. So Brightbees helps all the stakeholders within Brightline. They help children practice tools assigned by their coaches or therapists to get the most outside of their sessions, and it allows them to access a variety of content promoting mental health for children. It enables parents, coaches, and therapists to view their progress along the way.
So, introducing Jennifer and Violet. They are a mother and daughter who have just moved to California, and Jennifer is a working mom, but she really wants to be as involved as she can in Violet's Brightline journey. So Jennifer signs Violet up for Brightline after seeing her struggle to transition and make friends at her new school. After signing up for Brightline, Violet's coach suggests that Jennifer downloads the Brightbees app. So here you can see the Brightbees login page where you can log in with your Brightline account. The user profiles provided on the home page makes it very easy to add multiple children, and you can access both Violet's profile as well as her mom's profile. And as you can see in the parent profile, Jennifer is able to view Violet's progress and her activity on the app, as well as parental controls and other settings. Here is Violet's homepage. She's able to view the weekly tasks and tools that her coach has assigned her for the week. We also offer customization options to make the whole experience more fun and motivating for Violet. And here is the main feature of the app, the Beehive, where Violet can access a whole variety of different types of content to practice her tools and that are all related to mental health in children. Here is an example of one of the types of content that will be offered in the Hive, the library. Violet's coach might assign her different books for her to read with Jennifer over the week that incorporate what they're working on in coaching. This is an example of the feelings journal, where Violet can talk about her feelings, and Brightbees also offers a variety of accessibility options throughout the app, such as audio and text-to-speech features so that all children of all ages can access the app. So how does Brightbees benefit Violet and Jennifer? Using Brightbees, Violet can now practice her assigned tools through interactive activities and different modes of content, and this helps her make her therapy or coaching sessions more effective overall. Being able to practice outside of her sessions will also help Violet feel more comfortable using the tools that she learns. This also helps Jennifer because she's now at ease as she's able to view Violet's activity and progress, which allows her to be more engaged in Violet's Brightline experience. And Violet is also able to practice and be mindful of her tools on a daily basis, which helps her build confidence over time. This is how we calculated our market size and opportunity. First, the total addressable market was the total population of children in the US ages 0 to 11, which was around 50 million children. We narrowed this down, taking into account Brightline's deal with the California government to offer free sessions to children in California. And so we narrowed this down to around 6 million children who are ages 0 to 11 in California.
And through a variety of different factors, we also narrowed this down to our estimated size of the serviceable obtainable market for Brightbees, around 1 million children under 12. But as Brightbees develops over time, we're hoping that we can expand to the original 50 million children in the US that we mentioned before.
So what can Brightbees do for Brightline? Brightbees can increase the number of Brightline users under the age of 12 and help Brightline retain younger users over a longer period of time. Brightbees can also create more effective treatment plans for younger children. Developing Brightbees is straightforward. The first step would be app development, hiring app developers, designers, creating the content, and licensing other parts. The next step would be working with Brightline to help find therapy resources, get feedback from the coaches, and have the content approved. And lastly would be advertising, creating an email list, having the app be brought up in sessions to parents, and having the app be presented on the Brightline website. What sets us apart? Brightbees is not only developed to provide interactive content for kids, but also to help therapists and coaches track progress and assign activities. We also include all types of activities and tools that a kid would need in one app, which makes it super convenient for them. The advantage to using Brightbees is that therapy and coaching can become more effective as kids can now access a variety of interactive content. This is urgent because as mental health becomes a more pressing issue, it's essential to provide adequate tools for children of all ages. First, we have some hurdles, but first would be app development, because we would need more manpower to actually develop the app and have it be designed. Next would be acquiring usage, which would also be getting kids to have the motivation to regularly use the app. And lastly would be content creation, sourcing and updating the content as fast as we can. How do we immediately get signals? Well, from current Brightline users. First, we would put a mock-up of the app on the Brightline website with an interest form so that people can sign up for the app if they're interested before it's even available. Next, we would have coaches and family therapists ask families about their interest in the app to see what families think about potentially using this app for their child. Our pilot test would be providing 20 children with content for a couple weeks, like some with books, some with videos, and observing their interaction and willingness to engage with that content outside of the sessions. At the end of the week, we would interview their parents to see if they were interested in having their child participate in that, but with an app.
So we are going to have three main ways of gauging impact. First is data tracking. We are going to track the number of app opens per day and the app usage by day and the amount of time. So we can see how well the children like the content and how interactive it is. Second of all, we can get caregiver feedback. We can send out surveys via the Brightline email list and provide an in-app option for feedback. And third is asking our coaches and therapists at Brightline for feedback. As they can view the progression of their child, we can see how much impact our product has had on the clients. As you can see, we have a simple plan to get our app enlisted on the App Store as soon as possible.
Our vision is to help children get the most out of therapy or coaching on a daily basis, find a safe space to process their own feelings, and make their goals achievable. Brightbees, be your best self. Thank you.
We want to thank you again so much for joining. We're going to collect the feedback from both groups, and we'll share it with the teams here, and if there are any further next steps or things like that. But any closing words?
I was amazed at just the wide variety of challenges that this team took on and just the solutions that you were able to come up in just 2 weeks. Really impressive, really great ideas, and a lot of just fun concepts too that I think the potential kids would really enjoy. So yeah, great job, and really excited to dig into these more and see what we can apply at Brightline.
Yeah, I just wanted to dovetail off of Rena's comment about how wide a range there was of approaches and ideas, super creative. I feel like I got to know Brightline's work even better just from hearing about the incredible ideas that this group put together, and also I'm super appreciative of, and will bring back with me, the terrific idea focused on MCC's work as well. So just wanted to say thanks to all the teams, thanks to Daisy and Kate, and of course to everybody who presented today for a really terrific set of ideas. Thank you.
Well, thank you guys so much. Again, it's been an incredible opportunity for the students to work on this stuff. They've really dug in. We're super proud of them. And with that, we'll let everyone continue with their Friday day jobs.